Welcome back to New Cammack. Previously, the gang had a conversation with Leslie Lane, the leader of the city's Tremere, regarding what to do about the mysterious unmarked ambulance that has been following them, concluding that leading it into an ambush would be prudent. Augustyn then received a phone call from Feather McKenna, the gangrel ghoul and only member of the Camp Moonlight hippie commune who was aware that their community was founded by a vampire. Feather revealed that, in addition to the body of a bear slain by Darby, the torpid body of Jeremiah
Allegedly.
Cotton, the camp's gangrel founder, was dug up and stolen. Augustyn did not reveal to Feather that, according to security camera footage discovered by Excavo, it was the unmarked ambulance that was apparently responsible for this theft. After leaving the chantry, the gang split up to go hunting, during which time Darby accidentally drained a homeless person of all of his blood and attempted to cover up the killing by making it look like he slit his own wrists. Super successfully.
You're welcome.
Excavo on purpose drained someone of too much blood and then shoved their dying body onto a sidewalk and walked away because that's how she rolls.
Oh.
Upon returning to Darby Manor, the gang discovered a working bat signal, which was created and delivered by the Tremere Revenants at Archibald's suggestion, like 6 sessions ago. So it came as quite a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody goes to sleep and then wakes up and kind of has an individual errands day. Everyone conferred with me individually about what their character was doing, and here is the rest of that exposition. Augustyn woke from a terrifying nightmare that he failed to study for an important thaumaturgy test and arrived to class naked, prompting his classmates to point, laugh, and cast a genital shrinking spell called Witherdick upon him. Upon waking, he ventured to Camp Moonlight to collect ritual components, then returned to Darby Manor to magically grow some poison ivy and hemlock seedlings, and to create a terrifying weapon known as a Splinter Servant. Excavo viewed all of the footage that she recovered from the Nosferatu surveillance room. She then went shopping and outfitted Darby Manor with various gadgets such as smart lights and herself with various items such as computer repair tools and burner phones. She then returned to the Nosferatu surveillance room in order to set up remote access to the clan's collection of hacked security camera feeds. Archibald investigated the magical letters that comprised the chess moves made by Delacroix's mysterious opponent in the correspondence game that seems to be somehow linked to the former prince's downfall and ultimately our player characters being abducted and brought to New Cammack. He learned from the Tremere that the magic used upon the letters was not thaumaturgy, but resembled a much older form of magic called deranged, which is now mostly associated with vampires in the Middle East. He then found the location of the P.O. box used as the return address for the letters, then sent a letter to this P.O. box, inviting the mysterious person identified only by the letter F to a game held at Club Wonderland this Saturday night at midnight. Finally, Archibald lent Darby some money to purchase a vehicle.
We're going seventh seal on this thing.
Hell yeah.
With Archibald's financial help, Darby purchased a used El Camino. Later, questing for his own income, he then learned that there may be an opening to teach car repair night classes at the local community college if the current teacher decides to retire. Darby made a convincing argument to Jade that they should be blood-bound to each other to seal their trust for one another. Jade is now second-level bound to Darby, and Darby is first-level bound to Jade. The two explored the city, designated feeding territory for Jade, which has not been specified, but we could figure that out later. And they hunted, during which time Jade drank blood that was extraordinarily better than anything she had previously tasted. Reflecting the Ventru clan flaw, Jade now has a permanent feeding restriction, though she doesn't know what it specifically is. Finally, Darby spent the remainder of his night preparing a present for his prince. And then everybody went to bed. Now, before you can wake up again, we gotta do something. What we gotta do?
Oh, yay.
Nightmare
Yeah,
time.
I love this nightmare.
Motherfucking
I love this trait.
time.
Because Andy really wanted his character to have the nightmares flaw, we're gonna milk that for all it's worth. Augustyn.
I like that you warned us.
You're trapped.
This means we're getting into some weird dream within a dream
Here we
territory
go.
later.
It's all of this has been a continuation of the last nightmare. Actually, the first nightmare. You've never left it. Augustyn's the only real character in this whole thing. All of you are figments of his thaumaturgy
Spoiler
addled
for the-
imagination.
The ending.
Augustyn, you're trapped inside of what feels like a bulky suit of armor, and you can barely see out of 2 tinted eye holes in the oversized helmet that you're wearing. Disconcertingly, you realize that the limbs of the suit are locked in place, and you can't move them. You're confined inside this prison, barely able to squeeze against the metal that presses against your flesh.
Augustyn writhes within the suit to kind of assess his fullest range of motion and see if anything, can be done as far as contorting myself in specific ways.
You can barely move. It's like you're in a suit of armor that someone welded all the joints on. You can move just a few inches, but you can't get the joints to budge at all. You look out of the eye holes and you see nothing but darkness. But then a curtain raises and you see an audience before you, and they gasp in astonishment and begin applauding. In front of them is a table with 3 well-dressed people sitting with microphones. One of them leans into their mic and asks, "So what do you have for us tonight?" Abraham from Nuker Tech appears from behind you and says, we have built the most advanced dancing robot the world has ever seen." The judges turn to each other and start muttering to each other about their thoughts on robots, and Abraham turns to you and says, "Augustyn, I'm sorry we had to do this, but your friends completely disabled our robot right before its big debut on this show. This was supposed to be our big break, so you cannot blow this for us, okay? When I turn the exoskeleton on, just make sure you wow them, and don't let them find out that there's a person inside of the robot. Since robots normally can't dance at all, it shouldn't take much to impress them. Do you understand? Do you understand what you're going to be doing here?"
The fuck did you do to me, you fools? I will end you for this.
Also, Andy, quick question. Do you have space? Those are wireless headphones, right?
No.
Those are wired headphones?
Yes.
Can you switch us to a speaker so that you can still hear us when you are standing and stepping back maybe a few feet?
Uh-oh. We just see your torso.
Can you angle the
Yeah,
camera
we need to
up
see
a
your
little
face so that there is photographic evidence that this is you.
bit? Okay. There we go. That's perfect.
Oh, okay, sure.
Abraham switches the suit on, and all of the limbs go loose, giving you the ability to move freely. Abraham turns to the judges and says, "Okay, so we have 3 demo dances, and each of them are just about 30 seconds. It's going to be real quick. Robot, are you ready for the first one?" He takes that as consent. Go ahead and start dancing, robot. The audience is really getting into it. The judges are turning to each other and they're murmuring. The audience is starting to clap.
Like, yeah. this. Yeah.
The judges comment on the performance.
It was incredible, dog. One of the best performances I've seen. That was the real shit. That was so legit. Amazing.
I think if Darby's the Randy, that would make Kimber the Paula, so I'll go last and I'll be Simon.
I say yes. You're moving on.
Overwhelmingly positive.
I've seen better.
Well, this next one's really going to wow you. We've got a second song and a second dance for you. All right, hit it, robot. The audience is starting to clap. Go, robot. It's a birthday. Judges?
I don't know how you dance the opposite of pitchy, but you did it. Well done.
Even better than the first one. Ah, so great.
Well, it seems you've got one more shot, so let's get on with it.
Abraham says, well, I don't think your audience is really showing its appreciation for our robot. We worked really hard on it, and we think he's doing a great job. So we think you should show it some thanks, some gratitude, some love even. So for this last song, the robot's even gonna sing. So take it away. Come on, robot!
Let's fit the pieces onto another. Come on, you gotta dance! In summer, show me your love. Show me your love. So tell me your secrets, eyes full of wonder. Don't
He appears to be malfunctioning.
Show me your love.
This is cruel and unusual.
Show me your love. Show me your love.
Robot! Abraham goes over and starts violently nudging Augustyn in the robot suit.
Well, what did you think, Darby?
That was horrifying. What on earth was that?
That wasn't musical. That wasn't artistic. That was a pile of shit in a robot suit.
Oh my god.
The Excavo judge has fled
Left the building.
Oh god, why?
You retching.
The answer to the question is because
vomiting.
you picked nightmares for your character. Judges?
Excavo, do you have anything to say to that performance?
Wasn't paying attention at all. Damning.
The
Well-
love and the heart that was in the song. Unfortunately, I did not hear it out of the robot, but it definitely did not show me his love.
Let's see here. Nuka Technologies entry. We have millions of contestants come to audition on Robot Idol, and it's
And we're the best?
it's only a matter of proportion that some of them are going to embarrass themselves. But you nailed it. You are going to LA.
Ah, damn it.
A host steps in and reminds the Archibald judge that he was actually just outvoted 2-1. You see Abraham called off to one of the wings of the stage by a stagehand with a clipboard. While his back is turned, Augustyn Where did Augustyn go?
I'm here just collecting myself.
Okay. Augustyn, while
Wait, Augustyn, nobody's going to realize that those were all original compositions of yours and that was actually you singing unless we say...
I wasn't going to mention that at all, and I still won't. So your secret's safe with us.
Cut that part out.
I promise for like the overwhelming majority of the downtime with the mic, it's laughing, but it's just like uncontrollable and disabling me from hitting the talk to speak.
I mean, I'm a huge Mephisto fan.
I will link to your SoundCloud page in the description of this video. Augustyn, while Abraham's back is turned, you are suddenly lifted off of your feet. A hype man in his 20s wearing a slim-cut suit runs out on stage and says, "Okay, we're doing this, people! If you bring us trash, it gets trashed!" And there seems to be a magnetic arm, like the kind they lift cars with in a junkyard, that has attached itself to you and is now slowly hovering you over to some huge device covered by a cloth that a group of stagehands are pushing onto the stage. All right, y'all, say it with me. Crush that trash. Crush that trash.
Trash.
They take the
Crush
cloth.
that trash.
They take the cloth
Crush
off the
that
device
trash.
to reveal that it's a giant trash compactor. After a count of 3, you're dropped into it, and the walls begin slowly inching toward you. The side facing the audience is thick plexiglass, giving the audience a view of your agony. What do you do as you are slowly being crushed?
I want everyone in the audience's face to be Darby.
What do you do as you're being crushed to death? Whee! As the robot suit is crushed around your body like a soda can, your eyes pop out of your head and make a comical uncorking sound. Your blood erupts like a geyser, either out of your mouth or your asshole, depending on which of the two was clamped shut harder. And the last thing that you hear before you die is Abraham walking back out onto the stage, falling to his knees and shrieking hysterically. You then wake up and have to roll to see how traumatized you are by this nightmare. You're looking straight up, so it looks like you're pleading with God.
Bright light from
Well,
above.
should have pleaded harder. 0 successes.
No way.
That means he dies in real life.
That's right. The dream world is real!
It would have been interesting if it were a botch, but you simply got no successes, so unfortunately, you are traumatized for the rest of this night by this dream, and the effect that has is you lose a die on all actions tonight.
Oh, damn!
Okay.
Whoa.
And then...
Admittedly, it's on point for both. I am super in character right now. This is so good.
Okay, and then you and everyone else wakes up in Darby Manor. And Darby himself might have something to present to the prince.
Yeah. So,
I slept great.
so you hear like a knock on your door.
Yes, who is it?
Sir, it's Darby. I got a little something for you if you're available. He's very bashful.
Darby. I kind of open the door and I'm still kind of hurriedly wrapping myself in a robe and stuff. I'm like, yes, what is it? Is it an emergency? Is it an emergency gift?
No, nothing like that. Of course
An
not.
emergency gift.
Is everything all right?
Though, of course,
Quick, open the wrapping paper.
if we did have an emergency, this gift would be useful. And you know, Darby hands you the box that it's in. It's very crudely and poorly wrapped with Christmas wrapping paper in April.
Why, Darby, what's the occasion?
Well, I don't know. You helped me out with that El Camino money, and I'd mentioned, well, you'll see. Just open it.
Darby, you shouldn't have. Oh, and then I just start kind of very gingerly tearing at it.
Yeah. So
And
it's
I
in
open this
like
thing up.
a very trashy cardboard box, but on the inside is a holster and a shoulder strap for your sledgehammer that Darby has made with his bare hands. It's very.
Wait, you cut the hands
He has
off of
those
the bear
now,
after
yeah.
you?
That's
I was
right.
gonna say,
That's
he
right.
has those
Okay.
now.
It's very rustic looking, like of the proletariat for sure. It's like, but it fits around your shoulders, and it lets you put the sledgehammer kind of behind your back and across your back. And it's I don't know if I rolled for this, but I spent a lot of time working on it. Darby spent a lot of time working on it, and he told you that he would do this for you. So you may remember that you had asked him to do this.
The quality, I think, will
sessions
be
ago.
reflected in Darby's level of crafts, and he has 3 dots in crafts. A specialization in mechanics, but that reflects him being good with crafts in general. So it's a pretty solid holster. There's nothing about the construction of it that seems amateurish at all.
Darby, you shouldn't have. I pick him up in a big embrace. Well, I don't pick him up. I give him a big old hug, and then I'm like, oh, it's so expertly crafted. You made this yourself? No one. So this is why you wanted to borrow $5,000 from me.
What? Well, no.
It's a perfect. This is exactly how I wanted to spend it, but this is made perfectly with love and quality goods. And then I go immediately try and pick up my hammer and I put it in there, and it fits like a glove. It's perfect.
I'm a little curious how a shoulder holster works for a sledgehammer.
I would think
It
that
just
the weight would be at the top, and there would be another strap below your arm. So there's a strap at the top and a strap around your flank, so that it would run kind of diagonally across your back with the weight kind of nuzzled up against your shoulder blade.
Okay, so it's upright, and you like grab the head and pull it out, or like
That's
right
right.
behind the head.
I would reckon that it, I didn't really think about this until you're asking me right now, but it would be valuable if it was like a snap, where you could just pull it out. That seems like it would be simple leather work to do, like a clip or a snap where he could.
It's made out of Velcro.
I'm just thinking
Just
about
like
how
my
easy it
shoes.
would be to withdraw. Like I think that's
Magnetic snaps.
my setup sounds very nice because the weight would be evenly distributed, but I see what you're saying, Graham. It would be clunky to draw. I guess if you drew from down here, as long as you could get it out of the loop at the top, you could unfurl it that way.
Well, if we're
But having it up by your shoulders is just good ergonomics. Like
Right, it's
having the weight
heavy.
distributed that way.
That's what I'm saying.
Really, like-
I think that's how you'd want to keep it. I'm just thinking about how he would draw it.
It's like a sword.
Well, if we are getting fully in the
you're right,
weeds
the clip-
about how this would work, traditionally, like no one really carried swords on their back for the purposes of drawing it from the back. Just because you need to be able to pull it out of the sheath or the holster or whatever as long as the blade is, if it's a sword. And from like where your hand is on top of your shoulder to how high up you can extend it, that isn't necessarily like long enough to be able to clear the sword out of
Sure.
a scabbard. I think there might be the same kind of awkwardness, unless if it's is slung really low on the back, or if it just like snaps out and you don't need to like draw it up. There are handfuls of ways that you can.
I think
get around that
my
awkwardness.
initial thought was that it would snap out, and I think
do the snap.
maybe that opens up some risk for someone to try to take it or for it to fall out if he was, moving too quickly or whatever. But I think you could put pretty heavy snap, especially because he's so strong. He would be able to pull it out on purpose, but it probably wouldn't happen on accident if Darby set it up intelligently with a lot of tension. Maybe
I
something
think you can-
spring loaded, even that.
Wow.
Like it would be very difficult to break unless you were very strong. Like it just wouldn't open because it's got so much tension on it that unless you have potence, essentially, you couldn't pull it out of its holster.
I think we're probably overanalyzing it. We can say that
Maybe,
there's
yeah.
just a
Definitely, we
normal-
definitely are.
We 100%.
Let's say that just every time
It's
Augustyn
simple.
draws,
It's just a, and then it's out.
yeah, or you even like use two hands, one to draw it halfway out and the other to draw it the rest of the way out, kind of over your shoulder.
So like
Yeah.
this.
It just works through movie and video game and RPG logic.
Right. He
Like
pushes on
we don't
it
need to talk
so-
in like
so
well actually the
aggressively.
real medieval swordsmen didn't use it that way. We're vampires right now.
Oh yeah, that is
He's
right.
not wrong.
This is
So
all
I'm just gonna say
make-believe.
we can. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say. I'm gonna
That's
say we
right.
like do it. We just had a whole thing about dancing robots like 5 minutes ago.
So I used my superior craftsman expertise to give him something that is practical and would work. So how about that? Yay!
I'm kind of admiring it in the mirror, like kind of turning
Cute.
and looking at it all sassy, and I'm just like, Darby, thank you so much. I love it. I'm gonna be able to hitchhike now. Finally,
Be able to kill people so fast now.
I won't look suspicious at all walking down the street with this.
I think
This
that
is how a
it does
real
actually make
craftsman-
you. I think it would make you less suspicious to have it in a holster rather than just like carrying it. People would be like, "Well,
so.
he's probably allowed to do that. He has a whole holster for it.
If you put it on an orange vest, no one would ever say shit to you about it.
Just carry a clipboard all the time."
That's all it takes.
So
Thank
presumably,
you so much, Darby.
yeah, presumably everyone is gathered together in the living room and seeing this happen, and perhaps everyone is inspired to talk about what they did on the previous night.
Oh, we have we've had lots of exposition. Should we do a diary entry?
Ah, yes, yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Yay!
Okay.
Graham's so excited.
Okay, everyone, gather around. I'm going to talk about what we did yesterday.
Yay! Oh, man, I love this part.
Story time.
I feel like this is like non-diegetic, or is it diegetic? Whichever one of those is correct.
You reading it
Whichever
out
one
loud.
you said, boss.
You're the one who'd know.
I'll just tell. Yeah, I should know, but it's not like I have a computer in front of me and I can Google it.
I think the voiceover is non-diegetic, but the diary entry itself is.
Yes, the
Diegetic.
diary entry is real, but I don't think I'm just reading it to everyone. Okay. Dear Diary, on the eve of April 24th, we christened the mansion. Delacroix gives way to Darby, the most mannered manner. In our venture to the sewer, we learned of much more lying underground than Nosferatu tunnels. After arriving at Nuker Technologies, we encountered a mechanical man tripping the light fantastic. Its scientists informed us of some sort of transportation network below New Cammack, a sort of massive transit system. Nuker technician Abraham Branson employed us in an occasion of thievery, running out the Tabato gang and returning control of their MKT travel system. They'd been ordered to construct and maintain it by a technology billionaire, Avon Stank, evidently killed in a hot air baboon accident, which I consider a merciful punishment for a member of the bourgeoisie. After his death, the MKT was overtaken by the gang of one Mario Tabato, likely brother of Luigi Tabato, and manned by common laborers such as Earl and Darrell, the mechanics. They reminded me a bit of Darby without the barbecue sauce.
I want
Real
to
working
see.
stiffs.
I want to see the phrase "barbecue sauce" in Archibald's like flourishy cursive.
It's definitely the name in his phone contacts for
Oh, yes,
sure.
of course. After heading into the sewers, we found and took control of the Nosferatu surveillance system, and after deftly and strategically inputting the access code. However, Augustyn had been knocked into torpor by an account of platformular manslaughter. This was
We're inventing all sorts of words.
Yes, we are. This was unrelated to me striking his special purpose with a large sledgehammer.
Striking his...
His special purpose?
That's your chosen euphemism for dick?
Have you never seen The Jerk before?
Wait a minute! What's happening to my special purpose?
Oh, it's been long enough that I didn't recognize the reference.
Oh, yeah. In The Jerk, Steve Martin always calls it his special purpose. It's very funny. Okay. Afterward, I went soul-searching. Just got on my platform and drove. Hit the dusty trail with nothing but the headlights illuminating my way. Really thought things over. I strode through the desolate streets of New Cammack. Despite my pleas for help, I was ignored. It was like I didn't even exist, aside from the several people who threw pieces of trash at me. On the bright side, we now have a bat signal. Get it? A bright side, and it's a large light. And I'm explaining the joke in my own diary too. And
Darby's
we prepare.
Like,
and we prepare to catch Batman and essential healthcare workers alike. The end. You'll notice that I did leave out everything that didn't have me in it. Because
Naturally.
I wouldn't know about that for my diary.
How do you know about the parts you weren't there for?
What a long day. What a big, eventful day we had.
Yeah, that day covered... Oh my god, it began on session 9 with Darby's perfect day.
Oh my God.
When he first found his wizard hat razor frisbee. And it ended on session 14. Oh, this doesn't... Yeah, you didn't even cover the stuff that happened in the day that everyone had running their errands. Yeah, time's weird.
So, I need to flesh out this entry, everybody. What did we all get up to on our day off, on our special beach episode?
repeated exposition. Well, let's just say everybody knows everything that we wanted to know, I guess.
I kind of like this. I like this. We're having like a clip show episode.
Well, thanks for that money. I got a new car. I'm going to be fixing it up. It's going to be so sweet. It's going to have flames. It's going to have rims. It's going to shoot fire out the back. And goddamn, it's
You
gonna
already
be
said.
fast.
You already said flame. Wait, so there will be
Like flames on
flames
the
that
side.
shoot out
No, like
and
decals.
Through the fire and the flames, he'll carry on.
Yeah, it'll be like a Dragon Force type of car.
Is it gonna look like a drag? Are you gonna like?
Well, it is
make it
now.
look like
Okay, you have my car.
Dar-
We have live video now.
Darby's
From
Dargan?
around the city. I can see it on my phone.
Whoa.
So there. Yes, I went down and I got
You
the
did that by
dough set up.
yourself?
I got the equipment and I can check it on my phone on a browser anywhere. So
What?
boom.
Darby's very impressed. Like, he thought we were all going to have to go back down there and do that.
I did it.
Me
Damn!
too. Badass. Oh, by the way, Excavo, how possible is it to set up more cameras in the network? I would love to watch the post off. I know it's probably like illegal to watch like the mail.
I think
Oh,
it's
you want
illegal
to
to
watch
bite
things in
humans and
under-
drink their blood as well.
Watch the mail. Oh, watch the post office?
I would love to watch the post office. There's a person of interest I've been following. Well, trying to follow.
And it's not Darby. Okay.
All right, shots fired.
He's not a person of interest. He's an interesting person. There's a difference.
Nailed it.
Yes, it would be super easy. Very, very inconvenience. I have extra camera now, and I can do that.
Thank you. I want to know who I'm playing chess against to make sure it's not the devil.
Oh, is it Mr. F?
Mr.
Mr. F.
Mr. F.
Is this another reference I'm not
That was
getting?
pretty much
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah,
from
that one's Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there's a Mr. F I'd like to know, and I checked the list of characters that we have encountered, and it's because in my diary that I have written down, I've written everyone's name down, and no one starts with an F, so it can't be any one of them. Unless they're using a pseudonym, it would be possible.
I think Darby goes and wakes up Jade and makes sure that she's with us. If she wasn't already, I guess you said we were all gathering.
Oh wait, there's one person that does have an F. Feather McKenna is the only one I can really think of. But she isn't on the list that I see for some reason.
Surprisingly, there is
no.
camera yet for the
Yes,
post office. We have power plant, we have airport, we have what else? The castle, Blockbuster, Circus City, Toys R Us, and Chet.
What?
Chechai?
I think it's like a Greek pronunciation. It's Kai.
C-H-E.
Are you all thick? It's Chi-Chi's. Y'all never been to a Chi-Chi's? Come on now.
Is that like Chili's?
Those four are
No.
they are dead. Those feet are dead. Who else? We have City
Excavo.
Hall. We have the jail.
Wait, by the way, can I ask an out of character question? Does New Cammack exist in kind of like an alternate timeline where Chi-Chi's never went out of business?
Oh, the feed is dead. It definitely went out of business.
Yeah, no, the joke was that
okay.
there's
Right on.
there's like a
Oh,
I think I put a
Toys R Us.
Circuit City in the
Okay,
Toys R
I
Us.
got-
Yeah, a bunch
okay.
of
Circuit
so
City,
Gotcha,
Toys
I got it.
Toys R Us and Check.
It only took me like 5 sessions, but I get the joke now.
Check. Blockbuster.
goddamn.
We have the
I'm
jail. We have a
done.
train yard. We have a TCU. We have a office for the ninja's office. I've seen that before. And the pirate's office. And yes. There you go. And
Excavo, I remember you saying that you took a particular interest in the castle, which is something that hasn't been brought up before. Is that something you would want to?
There's a place called the castle. The castle. Let's see. What I see that it's titled the castle first floor, and it's a big room. It's like a medieval theme. Is it just the
It's-
bar, or
I think-
is there
I think
like
you
actual
were-
stuff in there?
I think you were imagining the first floor of the castle looks like medieval times, and it's actually more
Yeah.
like a traditional bar that has been decorated with medieval stuff.
Oh, then that's not as fun.
So no horses in there.
There are 3 floors. There are 12 floors. The second is it has tables with card games. There is a man with a crown in the room. He has his own chair, and there are some waitresses who have cigars, drinks, that kind of thing. And the third floor has a lobby, and it shows I've seen a couple of the women who they grab some of the men and they put them into the room with them, and they close the door. I don't know what they do with those men, but they're just grabbing them, I guess. I don't know.
So, Augustyn, do you want to tell us about your plans?
Augustyn is very
Unsure
much
of the
like
pronunciation of his own name.
It's the worst possible episode for Andy.
We roast the ones we love.
much like IRL. He is effectively like hunched under a blanket with a thousand-eyed stare and just not saying a lot to anybody. The trauma's set in, and he has yet to like come to a consensus on whether or not, like, if he asks the wall in front of him, "Are you real?" That he'll get a straight answer from the drywall in front of him. So he's real fucking quiet.
I kind of like am gently tapping at him, like, buddy, are you thinking about your EDM career again? Are you thinking about your SoundCloud follows? Come on, just think about plants. Go to your happy place. And I grab like a small house plant nearby from the room and kind of like I'm like shoving it at him, like hoping like I grab a tomato from the pantry and I'm just kind of like rubbing it on him, being like, is this anything? There, that's better. There you are. There's my big guy.
Augustyn, you get a text message on your phone. It is from Leslie Lane, and it says, "Is there a reason why you did not appear in the chantry last night to work off your debt to us?"
Obviously, I'm texting this, but the tone in which I am typing it, fundamentally a miscommunication, comrade. I was under the impression that there was not a deadline for said debt. However, I would gladly make it up to you were I to know the time, the place, and the nature under which I am to transmute this knowledge unto you.
I'm imagining this text coming across in papyrus somehow.
I feel like happy texts, they have to be downloaded. They are so long.
You get a reply from Leslie, and it just says, "Now."
Augustyn glances around the room at everyone else and just kind of like, wherefore does anyone else go this evening?
Well, we haven't really decided on a plan yet, Chief. We got all kinds of stuff we can do. I got a key to the MKT, so if we wanted to go down there and break into the old access terminal, like our friends at Nuker Tech wanted us to do, I believe Ex-Cavo's got the key to the mainframe, so we could do that. We could get to any access point from here. We also have that errand that we agreed to run for the Tremere. We got that trap we're trying to set for the paramedics. We got all kinds of shit we could do. I thought we might have to go into these sewers again, but badass Ex-Cavo over here just went rogue, did it on her own.
Soloed it.
I was legit looking for like an excuse to not respond to Leslie, be like, sorry, Mom said I had to do laundry. I can't come. And shit. Just kind of being obstinate but also anxious. Respond with only, send a ride.
You don't get a reply.
We have like 5 cars at this point.
I not text, but I'm sure they heard you say that.
I think we should take over the MKT for our boys at Nuker Tech. Here's my thinking.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, see, I knew we'd be sympathetico. Anyway, so what we do is if we have access to getting anywhere in the city we need quicker than everybody else, whatever else we're trying to do with Ex-Cavo's newfound ability to look everywhere, we'd be able to get everywhere as well. Plus,
we'll be able to track things like the paramedics and everything else way
if they're
faster.
using the MKT, we'll be able to meet them where they're at.
Or I mean, like, we'll be able to get there quicker, but we'll be able to see them through the camera network, and we'll be able to secure the camera network and make sure nobody finds that.
That's right. And here's the coup de grace. If we do this, those guys at Nuker Tech are going to give us a boatload of money, which we can use to bolster up our defenses.
And also, let's remember that it'll be super easy because we're just dealing with people.
Well, here's the thing on that. I do think these people are liable to have guns, so we should...
Pathetic. What's a gun supposed to do? What good is bringing a gun to a hammer fight?
Well, my thing is it becomes a hammer fight when you get close enough, but up until then, it's pretty much just a gunfight. Yes?
This is throwable.
Guns also have hammers.
Oh,
Shit.
Well, can't argue with that. Was that wisdom from Jade?
Okay, I guess we got to go to Club Wonderland and get the weapon things.
Look, I don't like it any more than you do, but I think mostly we should err on the side of not using guns. But in this particular situation, we're storming enemy territory, and these guys are supposed to be crime bosses or whatever. So, I mean, shit, we better strap up.
I mean, let's think about this logically.
I assume there have been others who have tried to do this.
I don't think so. I think these guys think they got the keys to the kingdom. I think we do have the element of surprise on our side.
Also, let's be real. You say they're full of crime bosses. How many crime bosses can there be? There's probably only one crime boss and then a bunch of crime lackeys.
Well, if everyone's a crime boss, then maybe they're like ahead of the game like you was talking about in your YouTube video.
If everyone's a crime boss, then no one is.
Isn't that like what you're going for with your whole worldview and whatnot?
Yeah, basically, I might have to
We
join
need to
the
run
bot.
more surveillance on this group. We need to know what we're up against, right? I mean, if we were to do this,
I like that. How can we do some recon? I think those are two things we need to do: get some more information about what we're getting ourselves into, and get some motherfucking guns. I think if we do those two things, we're gonna be all set.
You do have a card, right?
Yeah,
Still.
I can get us into the MKT, no doubt.
Well, it'll be the second time we just waltzed in, so I don't see their security being, or third time.
Well,
so I mean, I don't see their security being anything to mess with.
There's a secure area that we can get to. We just got to follow the wall terminals. They all point in the same direction, and they'll lead us to the central control. We haven't been in that area. We just been using the device. Now, it's possible there's extra security if you get past the outer ring, but we have maintenance access. I've used it once already.
Let's talk plant. So are we just reconning in this one, or are we trying to storm in?
I think if we do our recon quick enough, we could get after it. We got to get guns, we got to get info, and we got to get going.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
I put the hammer in the holster. Let's go.
Fucking
we
love
need
it.
to set up more cameras, and I don't think a lot of places would be happy with us just coming in and saying, we're going to put a new camera here. You don't know what it sees. We do. Goodbye. We have to sneak. We can't just walk in and do that.
Oh, well, I tell you what we do. Here's the plan for that. Is if you just pose as a legitimate security company and give them access to the feeds of their own stores, and then maybe conveniently don't tell them that you're looking at them too.
Like Google!
What if they already have security? I mean, how are we going to sell them something they already got?
We would
Who
have
watches
to sell
the
them
Watchmen?
newer cameras. We'd have to sell them smart cameras. They'd have to be in some way better than what they have, and to do that, we'd have to know what they have.
We say that our security cameras are watching their other security cameras to make sure that those security cameras aren't secretly spying on them. But actually, it's a grift because
like the best plan I've ever heard in my entire life. This guy is a genius right here. That's why he's our fearless leader. Okay, run it back for me one more time.
I'm kind of like facing away at this point. I'm like, I have a large tome just open just as an accessory to make me look smarter. Well, you see, it's simple logic, everyone. What does it mean, surveil?
I don't know.
It means a top of a veil, upon something which is hidden. I'm turning into Augustyn right now. I can't do it.
Under cover of night!
Under cover at night.
We shall veil every sir and ma'am that may stand against us!
Nailed the cadence. Just nailed the fucking cadence.
Yeah,
there's a real Shatner element to it.
Graham got it so well.
We have to watch it. We can't do too many cameras.
I say, Excavo, we don't worry about cameras above ground yet. We worry about watching underground. I think that Darby's right. The MKT is our best
Strategy.
stratagem. No, I was totally saying stratagem. It'll give us a tactical advantage across the whole of New Cammack.
I think guns first. Or do you want to split up? Put half of us on getting guns and half of us on getting info?
I am not great at getting guns. Let's split up.
But you are great at getting info, though.
Yeah, seriously. You can be in charge
Okay.
of that one. And who wants to get guns with me?
Well, I'm trying to look at the weapons list. We don't have any in Club Wonderland, right?
I don't know if we have access to any firearms that I remember hearing about.
There
No.
were
We had
not
a gun, I
any
would have
firearms or any kind of projectile type things in the Club Wonderland weapon wall conference room, other than like stuff you can throw yourself.
Well, here's the problem. Where in the middle of Heartland, in a modernized, developed first world country, are we just going to be able to obtain guns? It's not like we can just walk into a gun store and just with no background, no information, we can just waltz up and just purchase a firearms with the money that we have. Okay, Grant, so when we're editing, can we just cut all of this out and can it just be Darby and I walking into the gun store now after
Yeah, and they're just
saying
handing us whatever we
just
want.
handing guns just easily. Can we just
No, leave this
welcome
here.
to
magic
Indiana.
our way to buying the guns?
Yeah, don't we need like a background check to go in and get gun? You can't just go in and buy a gun, correct?
Not in Joe Biden's America.
He's never going to get the nomination. I think that.
Oh yeah, we're still like last year.
That's right. That's right. It's Buttigieg is my Buttigieg. But yeah, I like that Indiana guy. Anyway.
Mr. Yang.
Yeah, so I feel like I'll make a streetwise roll. You know, I think we could. We want to
I
find
got a
some
point of that too.
some black market. Yeah, so the Prince and I, Archibald and I, would like to team up to find some guns off of the.
Would that be like
beaten trail.
streetwise and wits?
I think streetwise plus intelligence. I think wits is used more if you are reacting to something in the moment, but if you're planning out something and relying upon your knowledge and stuff like that, I think it would be intelligence.
So I definitely want Archibald to roll that because my rolls would suck. I just want to like help. I don't know.
And the two of you could both roll and add your successes together.
Oh, okay, all right.
But what specifically are you trying to do?
We are trying to acquire firearms, a fair quantity of them, without having to undergo any sort of, paperwork, like just black market firearms.
I was thinking just go into the gun store and buy them, but
I mean, there is a gun store that wouldn't require any rolls. But I
did get 3 successes out of 4 dice, though.
Damn.
But I need to know more about what actions you're taking, other than just wanting guns. Because you're new in town, and there might be like gangs with extra guns, and they want to sell some of them, but you don't know those gangs, you don't know where they hang out. By virtue of having Streetwise on your character sheet, like, you know the steps to take to find them, but you're not starting with any relationship with the local.
So listen,
the
Prince wanted to
I
go to the
have
gun
2
store.
ideas,
right.
and we've got 3 successes, and I did use Streetwise, which would not be the same as going to a gun store.
That's fair.
And I can see the benefit of not having like a paper trail on these. So, let's see. There are 2 ways that I could see doing this. Is 3 successes going to be enough to like be okay? Because here's idea number 1. When I was a trash person and I was among the people of the earth, I made some connections.
Sure.
And I bet that my network of street people could help me.
Think
The other
Onion
thing
Jack
is,
could hook you up?
I think Onion Jack might be able to help if he's alive. But here's the other plan that I think would be funnier is we know a couple guys in a gang. So I think it would be funny if we got the weapons that we were going to use to get the Tabata gang from our good friends Daryl and Earl down at the body shop.
I don't think those guys are like gonna have access to the amount of guns we need. Like if each person wants
4?
1 or 2 guns, I mean Darby probably would want 2.
Or at least like talk to them and see if they can like help hook us up or whatever. If they know a guy.
I mean, they could probably give us info on the Tabata gang, but Darby pretended to be part of the gang last time he was in there. So
true.
if he
Never
went in
mind.
there and was
that would
like,
not work then.
Yeah, I don't think that method, that's going to blow up Darby's
Because
spot.
they would be like, but you
don't
are
you
in the
know that
game.
already? Yeah, exactly.
So Onion Jack it is. Who is
Okay.
now, I guess, going to become a character.
Yeah, I guess so.
What kind of a person did you imagine Onion Jack is? How would one characterize this character?
He's old.
He's
Okay,
got
that's all I
He's got
need.
layers.
So
He's old, pretty
think
senile.
instead of
very
just
drunk.
rolling for this, we would need to role play this out.
Okay.
Yeah. So Darby, are you coming with me?
Yeah, we're on Team
Okay,
Guns.
good.
So
Good.
the other group is supposed to do a little recon about what we're trying to do here. And then I'm on, which I don't know how they're going to do without access to the MKT, but whatever, good luck with that. And then we're on gun duty.
Okay, so we have cut forward in time. We have transgressed through a series of darker and worse alleys. Just progressively where it's labyrinthian to the point where we've turned off into so many little side alleys that it's like getting confusing of like, how have we not hit a street yet? Because we're really just in there now. And I have brought with me, I have under my coat, a bottle of fine red as an offering. And I finally peek around this last corner. I say, "Hey, is Jack home?"
From underneath a pile of blankets and old coats, you hear, "Ha, ha, ha! Who's that?"
Oh, it's me, Archie. Haha, from the war.
Arbachald, I wondered if you'd come back.
So, Onion Jack, can I call you Jack? I brought you a gift. I had such a fond time last time we were together. And I offer him the bottle of delicious red.
Oh, you know how your old friend Onion Jack loves the wine. But, of course, like I explained before, I don't have the corkscrew, so I just have to bite the end off of the bottle. And he reaches
Yes,
out.
you explained that's why they call you... They explained that's why they call you Onion Jack.
That's why they call me Onion Jack, because famously cocktail onions are the best way to take care of bleeding gums.
Yeah, that's
Such
right.
Such a rich backstory already for this guy.
I'm glad he's like a real character now.
He feels so
Okay.
lived in, like an old shoe.
Yeah, so
I got to add him to my character sheet.
Hey,
And I say,
how
no
have
worries,
you-"
Onion Jack. Did you know how they make them these days? I twist it off. It's a twist off.
And
Wait, no, I said it was fine red, so...
He recoils
twisted
in
it.
horror as if you've just, like, snapped the neck of a small animal.
No, it's just like it's a twisty. It's good.
Oh, gimme, please.
Here you are. I actually also pull from my coat 3 fine, like, chalices. Like a nice wine glass and pour him a
he's
glass
already
and give it to him.
holding the bottle with 2 hands like this and leaning back with it like a small animal that's been given a bottle and is just sort of like falling asleep with it like why
Hey, gee, wait a minute. Hang on. We're sharing a drink.
Oh, you brought one too?
Yes, we did, and I pull out 2 more bottles. I know how you do it here, Onion Jack, and ours are blood with wine in it.
Oh, nice. All right, yeah, okay.
So I twist off another one, and then I hand the twisty to Darby, and then I get mine out and realize that it is a corked one. So I like awkwardly am like, Jack, do you mind?
Oh,
I don't have a corkscrew. Could you help me out here?
I got you, Sonny. Don't worry about that. And he takes it and he like kind of angles it and then just violently clamps down on the bottle and breaks it off in his teeth. Little shards of glass go flying everywhere, and he goes. The little bits from like the paper on the top and little slivers of glass start coming out. He doesn't get all of the little shards of glass out. Some are visibly still like on his lips and in his mouth, but he hands your bottle back to you and immediately starts drinking from his again.
All right, I then pull out a small bag of cocktail onions and give them to him as a final gift.
Oh, you remembered my birthday. He takes it and he just
Happy birthday, Onion
cradles
Jack.
it. My
So,
parents didn't even
Jack.
remember my birthday this year. Doesn't help that they're dead.
I'm
but
so sorry to hear that, Jack.
Who is your friend that you've brought?
This is kind of like my main man. This is Darby.
Is this Darby?
How's it going, Chief? Yeah,
This is Darby, who I told you all about.
Arbachal told me all about you, and you're just as handsome as he said. And he pats you on the cheek.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? Well, you're
Guilty as
friendly.
charged. Guilty as charged, Darby. So, Jack, I wish I could say that your birthday was the only reason we came down here today, but I was wondering,
You're adopting
I told
me?
you I'm new in town. Well, I have requested the paperwork, but it hasn't come in yet, but I'll let you know when it gets here. I am signing up for a P.O. box soon, so that'll probably help with all of that paper.
Oh, much too small for me to live in, I'm afraid. I've tried that scam before, too.
It's like, I was looking at the measurements and it seemed suspect. But, I did tell you that I'm new in town and, I haven't met a lot of people. I've met wonderful friends like yourself, of course, and maybe I'm wrong to desire any more than that beautiful friendship, but we need all sorts of friends in this world. We need wine friends, and we need gun friends. Do you, Jack, have any gun friends? Do you know where we can procure some weaponry?
Oh, you need a gun, Arbachald?
We need lots of guns, boss.
Oh no!
At least 4, if possible.
What have you gotten yourself mixed up in, my boy? And he pats you on the shoulders.
We're not in any trouble, Jack.
If bullies
we're
from
just-
school are giving you the business, you just tell the teacher. They'll take care of it. You don't need to bring guns to school to settle it.
That is
you tell me their
true.
names, and I'll come and I'll give them a bop on the nose.
We'll get into that in a bit, but you see,
You probably shouldn't
it's
hit
not that-
children.
it's
Just saying.
Jack.
Oh
it's
no,
not
it's
that
the best
we're-
kind of people to hit. They can't fight back. But some of them are armed, so
Well, like which one?
And that's the reason. It's not that we want guns because we're mixed up in any trouble. We want them for our own protection, for our self-defense. You see, Darby and me and our friends back at home, we are what you would like to call Republicans. We need guns to survive.
Oh, I've heard tales of your kind. Don't you know that statistically, every gun in your house increases the likelihood of you shooting yourself in the testicle by 25%? And that's
I would like.
daily.
So we're shooting for 100%. We want at least 4 guns. So that's we're going for almost sure testicular problems here.
Oh, one of your nuggets is doomed, I'm afraid.
I'm willing to make that sacrifice, sir, for the line of self-defense.
Well,
What if you only have one pistol?
I happen to know where you would buy guns. In this
gunman.
in this town, there's actually only one licensed gun dealer. It's called Powell Guns. It's run by a gentleman named Forrest Powell, and it's over on Street.
Mr. F.
Yeah, right, Mr. F. I'm thinking. So you don't know of any kind of, we don't like paperwork. It's another kind of
That's
Republican
how the
thing.
government tracks you with
Exactly.
microchips, vaccines, and gun paperwork. We're not on board with any of them.
That's right.
Oh,
So do you
yeah,
know any behind the scenes gun kind of deals?
Like on the streets.
I don't really. I suppose the gangs. If you talk to the gangs,
Like which ones where? You know where to talk to gang people.
there are the mimes, and they might have guns. They acquire things for people.
Okay.
There's
Who else you got?
they say they say there's a gang that Mario fella runs, but he seems
Wait,
like a
Mario? Do you mean Mario Tabato?
no. I think it's Bitato, but you got
Wait, he's
you're
the
almost
fella-
there.
Onion Jack, now I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want you to do anything about it. Don't do anything crazy, all right? Because I'm a big boy and I can
has
take
someone
care of
hurt
myself.
You? Has someone hurt you?
He hasn't hurt me, but Mario Tabato's the fella that's been giving me some trouble at school.
Do you want me to talk to his parents?
Unfortunately, I'll have to talk to his parents because I am a teacher myself. I'm a professor.
Oh, you should definitely have a gun then. Schools are dangerous to be in.
See, this is what I'm saying exactly.
So
Now you're coming around.
So yes, just ask Mario for guns. Maybe he'll like you more after you have a business relationship.
You're saying that we should just try our chances talking to the tomatoes,
I
or this Forrest Powell fellow.
I mean, that's a store. They're probably not gonna beat you up and give you the business. Gangs, you never know. And I don't know if the mimes have guns, but I know that the people I hang out with sometimes go to the mimes to get things that they need. I think those fellas steal stuff and resell it to people.
I think let's try the mimes first. I bet we'd at least be able to talk to them with like sign language.
Well,
I'm good at charades.
That's the whole thing about mimes, Darby, is that you can't talk to them. And mimes don't even know sign language. Most of them. I'm sure there are some.
That
do.
sounds prejudiced. Do you know that for sure?
Well, we should probably ask Excavo. She seems very tuned into the whole French thing.
Smart. All right, but Onion Jack, listen. We need guns and we need them quick. We need guns and we need them in a hurry.
Well, I think the gun store stays open late, so you can just go there. Maybe try not to lead such a dangerous life that you need firearms. I'm very concerned for your safety. You seem like such sweet boys. But
Well, Onion Jack, I thank you so much. You're like the father that I never had, except I have a strong relationship with my father, so it's more like you're the second father in addition to the one I... Anyway, take this.
I'm your
and I
dad's
reach into my coat.
boyfriend. I get it.
you're my dad's boyfriend, and that's why I got you this. And I pull out another bottle of wine, but this one's gift wrapped in birthday appropriate wrapping paper, not Christmas wrapping paper. And there's like a lovely little like card attached to it. So it's like another bottle of wine, and it's like to Onion Jack. And then I kind of am hiding it so Darby doesn't see this part, but it says to Onion Jack, my best friend. Love, Archibald.
He takes the bottle, and he doesn't read the card quite yet. He says, I'm awfully sorry I can't help you. Honestly, in New Cammack, we don't have a lot of guns. The one gun store, it's the only licensed gun dealer. You can't even get like shotguns from Walmart. So I think that a lot of the criminals in this town go out of town to get their guns or something like that. I'm afraid it's just not my scene. But that's the best I could do for you.
Well,
thank you so
thanks
much,
anyway,
Onion
Jack. You were certainly a guy. All right. Well,
same time next week then.
Oh, please. I miss you terribly when you're gone. You're my only friend.
Yep.
I'm writing a song about you, you know.
I can't wait to hear it. It might just be the best gift that I've ever received. I don't know why I'm trying to sow this weird Darby and Onion Jack drama right now.
He's so jealous. This fucking bullshit. Darby's freaking outraged. Just, did you say your best friend?
And the song's gonna be way better than anything you've ever seen, especially
like on SoundCloud.
It's gonna be better than any Sledgehammer holster or something. Just a random example off the top of my head. My point is, it won't be bullshit.
That's just really great. That's just super great. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Or just whenever you're ready, I'm ready. This wasn't very productive, so thanks and no thanks and all of that and whatever. You and your friend can just like hang out next time, I guess.
We do like a cool secret handshake, and as we're doing like this complicated cool secret handshake, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll be right there. And you're kind of already just like, yep, just a sec, I'm right behind you.
Man.
As Archibald walks away, Onion Jack finally opens up the card that came with the second bottle and just starts openly weeping. Falls to his knees like he just found a long-lost parent. Just devastated by how much he's touched by this. And it seems like he's talking to you on your way out to like thank you or something, but no words really come out. It's just an emotional babbling as he's clutching now these two bottles so close to him that the broken one is starting to just stab at his neck. He's just like, Archibald, thank you so much. I didn't know I could feel happiness like this ever again.
Darby's able to keep his...
It was echoing into the night.
Darby is able to keep his jealous rage in check, so everything's cool.
So that as you're keeping your jealous rage in check, I kind of like turn to you. I'm like, so I'm thinking of turning Onion Jack. I'm thinking of embracing Onion Jack. I mean, you have Jade, and you have Jade.
She's like a combat genius. She's like a badass.
I mean, she's so great. You have Jade and
I do. And she's been a ghoul for a long time.
Excavo and Augustyn have each other.
Yeah, well,
and totally misreading that relationship. So
I'm not sure if that's
actually Darby.
Yeah,
Darby, can I ask you?
Correct.
Darby, I know we have to switch scenes soon, but can I leave on a serious question that is a cliffhanger also.
Sure.
You know, speaking of Jade, I can't help but feel wrong about what we've done. I think that we should tell her about Delacroix.
Oh,
And what
no,
happened?
No, yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's like the best plan for
It's
you
just-
or for me or for
It's
her
just she's
at
a
all.
she's a kung fu badass, and
Well,
if she
okay, you're not
were-
wrong about that.
if she were to find out, on terms not our own, that could spell some trouble for us.
Okay, so look,
maybe.
you're not wrong, but let me pose you a hypocritical. All right, so if we tell her, her first question is going to be, "Why didn't you tell me before?" And we do not have a very good answer for that.
Well, let me introduce you, friend Darby, to the world of lying.
Well, we're already lying. So, like, what's wrong with our current set of lies? Why do we have to make up a new, slightly truer set of lies?
Wait, so we're beside a brick wall in an alley. So just going into professor mode, I have a lot in my jacket, I'm realizing, but I pull out a stick of chalk and I start drawing an intricate diagram on the brick walls of the alley. And I'm just like, well, over here in this circle, you have bad lies. This is the kind of lie they tell you about in Sunday school. But over here, there's a whole other world, a new dimension of good lies.
Might I suggest, to help Archibald's analogy,
yeah.
there are little white lies and then a spectrum of other colors of lies.
It's like, oh god,
Oh, boy.
I don't like that one. Maybe, but yeah, there's all
Problematic.
sorts of lie, and I've just got like arrows and weird like equations going on.
Darby is not following this at all. Just looking
And
at
you
you
see-
completely mystified.
There is, if you just plug in the Erlin equation here and take the Duglin factor, then you'll see that this field of lies here results in us not being cut up by a katana.
Okay, I'm gonna not.
Because imagine the devastate if we told her on our own terms and explained our mistake, and then we're actually, you know what? Let's instead of the good lie, let's be. What if we were just completely honest and said we'd only been here for a day and we were very embarrassed and felt bad about it, but now we genuinely want to do right. We want to do the right thing. Which would also be technically a lie because our true motivation isn't doing the right thing. It's not getting chopped up by a katana.
I was with you until the end.
You
threw
see
away your-
here, just
Darren,
here
don't go
in
back
this
to the diagram. I can't follow
here
that
in
at
this
all.
spot, it's the hidden lie.
All right, so just what am I supposed to say to her then? We're just going radical honesty now. We're just going to tell her everything, the truth.
I think we should all sit down in a group session.
Okay. Well, look, I think she's predisposed to trust me. I think so.
We should get all of her family and friends around her to support her in this hard moment.
Everyone
And
should prepare a speech.
We can all
a note.
intervene in the situation. It's like a reverse intervention, except instead of her being the one who did something wrong, it's all of us that did bad things, and we need to apologize for them.
You want to do a reverse intervention?
Yes, like a reverse intervention, because she did nothing wrong at all, and we were all horrible to her and lied.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll tell her the truth if that's what the prince. Then Darby's very conflicted. He's like,
Well, I think
if that's what the prince wants me to do, I guess.
Well, I think
gotta
maybe-
tell her.
I think maybe we talked to Augustyn and Excavo about that. I don't consider this an order. This is just something that I wanted to talk to you about. Not as my subject, but as a friend.
Yeah, but like, Just a friend, though. You know, not like a best friend. Or
You
like
think
a...
we're like You think we're like boyfriends? I didn't
Well,
think you
no,
swung that
but,
way.
I mean, I didn't know you were like so.
Onion Jack is going to be the downfall of the city's entire power structure.
Yeah, what's
Listen-
the deal? What's the
listen,
deal with
Darby.
you and that homeless guy? All right, like
Listen,
honestly,
Darby.
that was some bullshit.
What did you just call Onion Jack?
I mean, he's a homeless guy. Like he lives in a pile of garbage. Like he literally was rousted from a pile of garbage.
He's not homeless if he has a home in my heart, Darby. He's like a son to me. He's not like my best friend. He's not like my bud like you are. He's like...
Oh no, we lost him. We lost him mid rant.
Archie! Hey!
I kind of like him in this frozen pose.
That was
We had to make it.
You got a slight snarl.
While we're waiting for Archibald to come back, this might be handy information to have. Jade is second level bloodbound to Darby. The mechanical effects of this. Well, I'll just read the whole thing because it's short. The drinker's feelings grow strong enough to influence her behavior.
Maybe.
Though she is by no means enslaved to the vampires, he is definitely an important figure in her life. She may act as she pleases, but might have to make a willpower roll to take actions directly harmful to Darby. Darby's influence is such that he can persuade Jade or command her with little effort. Social rolls that Darby makes against Jade are at a -1 difficulty.
Great.
Sorry about that, guys. My internet disconnected while I was yelling passionately about Onion Jack.
It was amusing. You were frozen mid yell. It's right in this middle of your oration. You convinced Darby to tell her. I mean, he's like, shit, okay. I mean, he does consider it more of a forceful suggestion, even though you said that it wasn't. But you got him like morally feeling bad about it. And so, yeah, we can run that scene after we do what our compatriots do. Darby is going to talk to Jade. We can have that scene afterward.
Are we sure we don't want to talk to Augustyn and Excava first?
I think Darby wants to handle it himself. Unless you make him talk to the group,
You guys
Darby's
are
going to
blood
do it
bonded.
on his own. Yeah.
You are blood bonded.
I would say no if I were asked, of course.
True. Yeah, I think everyone would say no. Which makes it more dramatically tense.
You could just get a completely
Darby
unrelated
feels
person.
morally.
You could get Onion Jack to tell her.
Honestly, and I mean
Hey,
this.
Archie would be
Fuck
down for
that
that
guy.
idea.
Fuck that guy.
Darby's so mad. I love it.
Fine. I mean, the real beneficiary of this is Augustyn, who is like definitely number 2 on Darby's shit list now.
You know, if
I've been
Augustyn killed Onion Jack, his social ranking.
It might change the whole balance of power in the party. Who knows?
All right, so we go back to Darby Manor, where presumably Augustyn and Excavo remain.
I'm gonna get a drink because I don't know about this.
Yeah, I will also.
What do Excavo and Augustyn do while they are left alone? Though Jade is still in her room.
Okay, so we are to get information. Now I want to get camera like this. That is what I want. I don't know where to go for that. Do I need to make it? I don't think Walmart has this, but I want this.
Walmart does not have that, but you could order it online and get it in.
Okay. It would take days. And if I were even allowed to order online.
You can order online. That's okay. There's nothing about the blood contract that prohibits like going online and placing orders and having stuff mailed to you. Unless if you're doing that specifically with another vampire. So Excavo orders one or a few of those little screw.
I want like 100. I think they'd be useful to have.
100.
Oh yeah.
I think she would be able to get a few
They are
$1,000 worth of these.
$25.
Oh, yeah,
They
you
are
can get 100 of them.
25. I'm trying to figure out, Augustyn. How could your help do this? Is there any way that you've acquired information before?
Augustyn is still in a stunned and otherwise distant state, just kind of glancing out windows, trying to decide
Okay.
if he's awake or not.
To clarify,
I work better alone.
I don't want to step on your role playing if this is how you want to do it, but you did not botch, so you're not forced to believe that you're still locked in the nightmare. You're just simply mildly traumatized in whatever way Augustyn would process that. But
Okay,
you
so
don't have to think that you're still in the nightmare.
Distracted, but not like totally crippled. Okay.
Like how a normal sane person would go about their day if they just had a super bad dream the previous night.
I would say that's applicable if it were not Augustyn, who's not normal.
Think about it in terms of its in-game effect, right? Like it makes you slightly worse at everything you try to do. Like everything you try to do is just a little bit harder, and I think maybe that's how you could engage your role playing.
All right, cool.
So going back to the question, I ask, I know I'm going about this one way. Is there a different way that you've gone about it to get information that may not involve what I do?
Alas, the communication of technology I know only by the language of interplanet
No, that's what I mean. I'm asking, could you use plant to try and help out in some way in this endeavor?
I do not know that the human language is communicable to that of synthetic plant life.
Yeah, I don't know really all what you do, so I...
Does Augustyn remember that he did literally talk to a plant to get information from it last night?
You could talk to plants around where we want to gather information.
If Augustyn is deliberately hiding that is fine. I just wanted to make sure that you remembered that plants can actually be spies. If you have that power.
We're in the same club. It's literally just a bad player character moment.
Please recount how that works.
Given a marginal amount of effort, I can commune with the core vital life essence of these plants. So, I suppose is a static means of biocommunication that is available to you if you find that applicable.
I thought you were done. Okay.
Interplanetary communication was great, though. that was amazing.
Captain Planet strikes again.
I think we're only scraping the surface of the plant puns.
We are just starting to dig the hole. You need that.
So help me out. The two of you were talking about expanding the surveillance network that had already been established by the Nosferatu.
Yes. Could that be possible? Like, could I do that?
Yeah. I mean, anywhere where you put a camera and it is on some sort of network that you have access to, you can look through that camera and set up something to record footage from it. And I mean, there's even hardware cameras where all that is self-contained. There's just a battery and it records footage, and you could perhaps hide it somewhere and then go back later and pick it up. But I think that's not what Excavo wants to set stuff up, and she can look at the whole panopticon of all the cameras in the city just on her phone.
Right.
Yeah, as long as you hide something and it has internet access, and you can get onto that network, yeah.
Okay. So I do have a plan. While it's not very fleshed out, we could try. But I have ordered these cameras, and I show him on my phone what they look like. Like, hey, they look like this. So he can see what I'm talking about. But they won't get here for a little bit. So in the
you were
meantime,
told
I do
that
have
it's
a couple of these.
4 days is the fastest they can do.
Oh, Okay, so it
According
will
to
take
my-
4 days for these to get here. However, I did pick up a few extra cameras just because, and I have those. While they are less inconspicuous, sure. We could try and place them where we would want to place them. I know Archie had mentioned the post office. I do think that would be a good place to look just because of the nature of a post office and who goes there.
Archibald may or
So
may
I think
not
we would
have mentioned that the post office. This is something that I'm. I'll just give you this
but
free.
I would think that like people who get a PO box are not always reputable characters. They're hiding something. Not always.
I have a PO
but
box.
why?
What are you implying? I was actually I got it because I was moving a bunch and I didn't like having to change my address
see,
all the time.
then you're not one of the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
one of the
I
good
don't want
ones.
anybody to know my address. No.
So the post office, the specific, there are two post offices in New Cammack. There's one specific one that Archibald identified as having the PO box that the chess correspondence, that one, the plot relevant one. It has one section that has a bunch of PO boxes in it that's open 24 hours. It has another section that's like the customer service office type place. The P.O. box section of the building does not have any visible cameras in it. Not that you can't put one there, but the office that's closed at night may or may not have a camera already there that you could tap into.
So this would also require more research on my end to figure out what cameras I could even see, right?
Yeah.
And just by going to places, sure, just going around and figuring out where they have cameras. What I could potentially be also interested, not the most interested, but is there a bank with a safety deposit box section that I could put the camera in?
A few of them. I mean, you look up online and you see that there are at least a couple banks in New Cammack that have safety deposit boxes.
I would go there because then I would know who's storing what in these safety deposit boxes, just in case I see something I miss.
You are turning into a heist crew.
I watched Ocean's 11 for the first time the other day. These are not things that they did in there, but the mindset is right. Augustyn, where else do you think we could put some cameras, given that I could access them?
I do have to mention that banks do not tend to be open while the sun is set.
Right. That's what I was thinking about.
So installing a
Trying to figure out how to do
new
it.
hidden camera is something that you
I
may
would
not
have
be
to
able to
put it
do
in.
personally.
Could I do it with a heist team, perhaps?
Sounds like
You
it.
son of a bitch. I'm in.
I mean, what we really need to do is just spend the time to do the research and to stake out where we want to put the camera and figure out, with the camera that I've bought, if there's even a screw that I could replace.
Yeah, well, there's
hard.
literally a whole city full of places where you could put cameras. This is maybe a good idea for the
Is
next...
that a pawn shop?
There are pawn shops. This is maybe something that Excavo can do on the next... what do we want to call them? Like errand days?
Yes, just to put cameras all around. It will take 4 days for the camera to come in, but at that point, I can literally drop 100 of them around the city. So let's say we kind of discuss a little bit, but figuring out, okay, what is our first move? Augustyn, what do you think?
Well, not a one for the finer arts of camera placement and surveillance. I do concur that the amalgamation of additional sweltering knowledge could not be harmful to our future endeavors.
I think we also may need to talk to some characters around the city and try to get some information the old-fashioned way, unfortunately not.
Information about what? What is it that, what mystery are you trying to solve?
We're trying to do the same thing as them, except they're getting the weapons and we're getting the recon, right? So we're...
So this is the path through to the MKT Central Command Center. I don't believe they've gone down there, but that's where we're trying to go. I think as a squad.
Yeah, and everyone already knows. Everyone's received directions on how to get there.
Yeah. I think we were all together when AB was explaining that to us.
Yep. Darby and Archibald return back to Darby Manor, and the four of you are reunited once again. Jade comes out of her bedroom and is excited to see Darby once again, and says, "How did it go?"
Darby looks like visibly crestfallen and just really agitated and angry, and he's just like, "Jade, listen, we got to talk about something important."
Oh, hey, Jade. Hey, how you doing?
Darby kind of ignores the prince, like maybe he didn't hear him, but he definitely did.
Jade says, "Hey, Archibald, what's up?"
Oh, not much. We've just had a gun day, a good bro gun day.
Oh, did you go to Powell Guns?
Gun day Sunday. Well, that's on the list. We'll get there eventually.
We was trying to get some off the beaten trail.
Hey, Augustyn and Excavo, I think I need to have an emergency meeting with you guys in the kitchen right now.
Okay.
It's an emergency. There's a fire in the kitchen.
No, there's not.
Jade runs to the kitchen.
With the furrowed...
Wait, Jade, don't. It's very dangerous for Jades. It's bad for Ventru. That it's Ventru getting fire.
My spinach!
Darby just rolls his eyes like he's trying to give us some space. God, here we'll go. And he grabs Jade.
They have Ventru.
Yeah. Ventru clan business.
It's a Ventru thing. Yeah, it's a Ventru thing.
She goes, "Oh."
Hey, so Augustyn and Excavo, I floated this idea by Darby, but I think he took it like real serious, and I think he's about to do it right now. I told him we should probably talk to you, but he seems pretty dead set on it.
What? No, what?
Well, they're out of earshot. They left, right?
Yeah.
Darby and Jade are
So
elsewhere.
So, you know that whole thing with Randy, right? And you know that whole thing with like Jade being super good at swords and everything like that? I think
I know what you're trying to say.
So that's what I'm trying to say, is that we should probably, honesty is the best policy.
Jade, here's the lie that the prince made me tell about what happened to the previous prince.
Do you remember when Feather,
Archibald made
showed
up this
her
whole
a
story
picture
that we had to tell you?
Showed a picture of
I feel like now it's time for you to hear the truth.
No.
Wait, is Darby
There was
actually?
This is what he's doing while they're in there talking about their plan.
Let's do one at a time.
No. What would be?
No, I just want to point out, these are happening simultaneously.
Telling her right now, why would you do that?
Do you remember that
a burmaster on our side, and you want to tell her that you want to tell her that? But why? She's going to be so angry.
Because
we're going after her against. We have so many people against us right now, and you know this. We have so many enemies right now. Please, don't.
Yes, and we'll have one more.
A kung fu master? Are you kidding me?
We'll have one more if she finds out. Like if Feather tries to show her that photo again.
No.
She was 1 second away from finding out.
Did you pull us into the kitchen?
Just Asian.
Did you pull us into the kitchen for this conversation? Is that where we're at?
Yes.
Yeah.
I start a kettle for tea and start fondling my hemlock menacingly.
the thing
We're all
is,
vampires and can't drink, but all right.
well, it's poison anyway. But it's like, if she finds out and we don't tell her and we don't like come clean and get ahead of this one,
What do
she'll
you mean, if?
definitely
How is she
be
going to find
against
out?
us. Because Feather will show her a picture of the PT, of the only purple
Why would it
PT
come
cruiser
up?
in town on
It's
fire.
been so long ago.
It already did come up one time.
It's been so long ago. It's been days.
It could happen any time.
What if
I
we-
just think
okay.
that honesty
No,
is the right
well,
thing, and
no.
also
No, in that point, not, you know what? Not when. If, let's be good. Let's be positive. What if Jade found out? What if we just said we did not know?
well, of course we knew. We were there. With the thing is,
What is he
I just think it's the right thing to do.
You and your morals. We are here killing people.
That's why I told Darby that we should have a group meeting first, but now it's
And
happening.
he's out there doing this?
Hey, it'll probably be fine. They're blood bonded.
No, I turn
way
around. I go
closer
back out there. No. I try to stop with this happening.
Augustyn, you're with me, right?
Pauses mid-stroke while caressing his hemlock menacingly and contemplates the fragility of our situation. Kind of looks back over at the prince and turns the kettle off after realizing that he can't drink any of this delicious tea.
He's very forgetful about things.
Do you have any say in this?
You meatbag imbeciles! When things come to the only thread of connection I have to this particular circumstance is to say that I was not here at this moment hearing these words from you. And I kind of walk out of the room and just plausible deniability on the off chance she goes on a murdering spree.
She's gonna be thankful that we were on it, that we should have told her from the beginning. Now we're admitting our mistake. Because if she found out the bad way, this is the good way to find out.
From Darby. The person you trust the most.
My eyes kind of
That's
go
a good
wide.
way.
And then I just head ahead of you out back to the room.
Okay, so Darby now gets an uninterrupted scene with Jade, because this was happening simultaneously with the other conversation. Jade says,
Yeah,
What's going on?
Now I think we're all trying to bust in and stop Darby.
Yeah, I get some time to myself here. Yeah, I got something important I got to tell you. It's about Prince Delacroix.
What about him?
The new Prince Archibald cooked up a fanciful story about what happened to him and made us all lie to you about it. But he changed his mind, and now he wants us to tell you the truth. The story is what you believe to be true now. Unfortunately, that's not what's really true. What's really true is...
Are you talking about the plane crash?
I'm talking about the plane crash. He never got on the plane.
If he didn't... Wait. He did... Yeah, he did. Because if he didn't, then where did the gun safe that he was being transported in go?
Yeah,
like they took it and they put it on the plane, and then the plane crashed.
Jade, listen. I need you to listen to me, and I need you to listen to me right now. I would never lie to you after the sacred promise that we made to each other yesterday, and I feel like you need to know the truth. And this is it. He was killed by agents of the orchestra. They exploded our PT cruiser, they set him on fire, they shocked him, and they killed him.
That dipshit gang that all wears like suits and
That's
mugs
right.
people?
If you ask me, I think what happened was probably an accident. They shocked him and inadvertently set him on fire, and it blew up the whole goddamn car.
are you saying that we're gonna go kill the people in this gang?
You're goddamn right.
Is that what this is for? You're trying to make me mad at the people in
No.
this gang, so I'll go and kill them for you?
That's not, no way. First off, Darby cleans up his own messes. This is about coming clean with you, cleaning up the mess we made when we lied to you about what happened. We didn't know you. We was new to town. We know that you and Prince Delacroix were close. And through complete random happenstance and bullshit, he ended up dead.
Is this why
Within
the car is
hours
gone?
of us showing up. Well, yeah, it was destroyed. It was set on fire by these idiots. Pure blazing fire. Took them out quick. Darby's like on the verge of tears thinking about it and ashamed from having, misled her. And it's just like really earnestly trying to come clean now.
None of them are around right now to tell me what happened from their perspective. I don't know that you're Darby. Like I trust you kind of. I kind of just met you, but like, how do I know that it wasn't your friends that killed him and you were afraid I was going to find out, so now you're blaming it on these orchestra people? Like,
Well,
I don't know what to believe.
I know that Excavo recently got access to a bunch of security camera footage. Why don't you see if she'll show it to you? This is the truth. This is what happened. He got jumped. He got killed by these guys. Now, I think maybe the conflict got escalated a little bit when our plant-loving friend stabbed one of those guys with a knife rather unexpectedly.
So it was your fault. The Augustyn, got them to attack Randy?
They was robbing us. They was holding us up.
They robbed everybody. I don't think they've ever killed anybody before.
Well, that's something that people who had been in town for 4 hours probably wouldn't have known at that point. We knew we was getting forcibly robbed, and we stood up for ourselves. I think Prince Delacroix was trying to stop us, but it all escalated too quick, and then he got shocked and burned to death.
Well, it sounds like he'd still be alive if you guys hadn't come to town. And she turns around and starts walking to her bedroom.
Jade, wait. Darby's, begging and pleading, but he lets her go if she doesn't turn around.
She says, I just need some space right now. Just give me some time. And she goes in and she closes the door.
Darby gives her some space.
And then everyone else enters the room and sees Jade looking very upset, stomping off to her room and closing the door. And then Darby looking perhaps a little guilty.
Darby, I think it just looks sad. Yeah, sad and guilty, but maybe feeling a little better that they're on the path to clearing the air and getting everything out there. And he feels good that he followed the prince's express instructions as he understood them incorrectly. And so there's some mixed feelings for Darby, but he's very much repping his humanity and feeling as if he is justified in how he's just behaved.
Did you tell her the part about how we were scared more about Archon Glass? Like we didn't want them to know.
She didn't ask about the details. She feels betrayed. She doesn't know what to believe. I told her she could look at the camera footage. I told her the truth about what happened. Excavo, did they have eyes on... Footage? I was going to ask you if they had eyes. It was one of the MKT stops was right over there. Can they see by the railroad tracks? Can we show Jade what happened for real?
Darby.
Yeah.
Is this not something you could have asked before your hasty decision to inform her?
The prince told me. He told me she was a loose cat.
I can see a Craignard. Don't know if I can see the tracks or what was near there at that point.
You said she is a threat. She's gonna be a sword wielding Beatrix kiddo. So I got out in front of her.
She's not just a threat. She's our friend. We Embraced her. You embraced her.
That's why I thought we had
She's
to come clean. I thought this was what you wanted.
Exactly. I think it was the right thing to do, Darby. Thank you.
Did Archibald plan all along for Jade to be replaced by Onion Jack?
Now, I'll tell you.
40 chess.
I'll tell you. If Onion Jack had been the one explaining this whole thing instead of Darby, it would have went a whole lot more smoothly.
Well, yeah.
That was Blake saying
No.
that, not
Yeah.
Archibald.
Darby is a dumbass. You know?
Well, is Onion Jack not?
I think he's got everything going on. He's a straight shooter.
Onion Jack
Good
would be
head on
like,
his shoulders.
his body was in the safe, and the plane did crash with him in it. In a sense, they didn't lie at all.
Well, that's true. We
Bites a
We
bottle.
technically did not lie.
Right,
Well,
we technically did
Well,
not
I
lie.
guess
Why
That's
we
always-
can all.
tell the truth now?
That's always comforting to
I
traumatize
guess we can
people.
all learn a lesson. Yeah, we can all learn a lesson from Onion Jack. Well, I mean, sorry, the cat's out of the bag now. I mean, she wants to know the truth. I think there's, Feather had some footage from the news about the burning PT Cruiser. We could at least show her the fire. That thing was out of control. You could see it from space.
Well,
I mean,
Feather
what-
already
what did
tried
we
to
leave out?
show
What did we
Jade. I
tell
think
her?
I think Jade would have been asking questions based on that footage, especially if Feather had shown her again.
Well, so we know it's
Or
out
ask
there. It
more
might be on the
questions.
local news website. We could show it to her.
Clearly, Jade is going to be our ally. But I'd rather have her an ally knowing the truth than be manipulating her the whole time.
Do you really think she's going to forgive us for not telling her for days about
I
this?
don't think she'll forgive the orchestra.
That was the first thing that she thought. She thought I was trying to get her riled up to get mad at them. And while they got something coming back around their way, for goddamn sure,
They're a gang. Do you think they have guns?
well, maybe we could take them. They didn't have any guns, though. They had them weird electrical
Do you
weapons.
think... True.
Fucking musical instruments. I don't think
gonna
they'd
say
be
this
very
whole
useful
thing
for
could-
us.
Been into a weird revenge mission where Jade kills them, gets their guns, but...
We could ask what she wants to do after she's
No,
had some time
I
to
think
process.
she needs space.
But yeah, no, we'll
Well,
give her
yeah,
some
after
time to
she's-
process. I'm
after
just
she's had
saying
some
we'll try to
time.
give her some agency, give her some say in what's next. Because
Absolutely.
honestly, we've been making a lot of the calls, and I imagine she feels pretty out of sorts, untethered. So let's help her get grounded.
You could always knock on her door and ask her what she tings.
I think we should give her a few more. It's been like 2 minutes.
I just want to wait. I'm not going to initiate the next conversation. Darby is not going to initiate the next conversation with Jade. When Jade reaches out, Darby will be ready to have that chat with her. And that'll be the first thing that he says, but only when she's ready.
Darby gets a text message from Jade,
Oh, okay. He
and it says,
checks his phone.
and it says, I'm sorry to do this. I just don't feel safe in that house at the moment.
Okay, Darby texts her back in like poor English and total tech speak, like lead speak, I guess. I understand. Take all the time you need. We all decided you get to decide our next move whenever you're ready. The
She
prince
says,
too.
she replies back, okay, I appreciate your support. I'll come back when I'm ready.
Darby just texts back, okay, I hope to see you soon. That's it.
Coming on a little strong there, man. You should have been more aloof. Just sent like a K.
That's not Darby style.
There is a new breeze coming through Darby Manor. A very slight one that maybe only Excavo notices.
I follow.
The breeze is coming through Jade's door, like underneath it.
Ah,
There's an unusual amount of airflow.
I know what I'm about to see. I open the door.
What do you think that you see?
I think I see an open window.
you see an open window. And it looks like she hastily packed a backpack or a bug-out bag or something like that and took off.
Oh, goodbye, Jade.
And that is the cliffhanger that we're going to leave this session off on.
So my best friend has a better best friend, and he drove a wedge in between me and my actual best friend. Sweet. Super day for Darby.
But it was
Everything
easy
is
to
fucking
do.
awesome.
That he could just
I was gonna
guilt
say, this
you
is
into
like-
telling her.
This is like my favorite session.
Just because you just fucked with
Where
Darby's
have they
heart.
stayed with fucking Onion Jack?
What? I love Onion.
So
We've spent a
trash.
lot of quality time together.
I like that you
What
invented
skills
an
does he
NPC.
have
And
besides opening bottles of wine with his teeth?
I love it. I really love that Onion Jack, my throwaway character from last time, is now like a real deal, and I hope he comes back.
Major
again
plot
someday.
point.
I've
He's
learned that
like
there's no
big
such thing
now.
as throwaway characters. Any character might potentially be pivotal, even if not intended to be.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I definitely did not expect all of that to happen today.
So in this session,
crazy.
a tremendous amount was accomplished. Excavo has pretty much single-handedly created the Prince's Advisory Council's surveillance network and has plans to expand it. Archibald cemented his relationship with Onion Jack, who might possibly prove to be a valuable contact. He has information about several possible sources of guns. Augustyn finally has a splinter servant, a real trump card in combat. And Darby has his own car and has a lead on a job. Tremendous amount happened in this session, but unfortunately it ended on a bit of an unresolved down note. But we'll see where that goes in the next session. Just so I know what kind of scenes to prepare, what kind of plot lines, what quests do you think it's likely that you'll want to embark on in the next session?
Well, I think we need to secure the guns and get to the MKT and get that secured, because
The
we
hub
already
of the
have
MKT
this, like,
is definitely where Darby and the Prince want to go.
there's that, because I think like we need to get Swamp Thing, we need to get the paramedics, but I think the MKT is our like strategic best way to make that happen.
And the
And
thing
you want
is,
to get
like,
guns because you're afraid that you'll run into Tabata gang members.
we
the
know
MKT?
and I think we've asked two people like who might have guns in town, and the Tabata gang has come up both times. It's like they're armed, and if we are in hallways trying to storm a central hub of this network, I think we better be armed or we're going to get shot from long range.
Augustyn's going to support whatever Excavo is endeavoring in her expanse of her intelligence, despite his flabbergasting at feeling like he can't do much to help. As far as guns, I think it's funny that we decided to get guns after I found an extremely long roundabout way of circumventing my need for a gun. So now that I have it, yeah, I'm all on board. Like the
What if you
recon.
loaded the splinter cell into a gun? and
The
shot
Splinter
it?
Servant?
You know
Did
that
I say
like
splinter cell?
what was
Yeah.
it, in the Dark Knight where
Hope.
Batman makes this like system with Morgan Freeman and
Yeah.
they
The cell phone.
it's
thing.
like all the phones and all this stuff together, like they can really
The
spot
Patriot
who's
Act.
where.
Yeah, that's it.
Are we
Like
Republicans?
just a total
Oh,
yeah,
are we the baddies?
total flex of the Patriot Act. I feel like Excavo might dip her toe and like try and go that way. Like
So-
she's going to be the best at getting the information that we need.
So- I think
The
that
best.
while the mimes seem like the kind of like no
Oh, yeah, you didn't ask me
paperwork
about the
way to get
mimes.
guns, I'm thinking Pal might be our
Just
preferable
buy
move.
them and
Yeah.
see if we can negotiate with the guy to cut through some of the red
Like-
tape, maybe.
Yeah, how
Well,
did the
here's what
gang
I'm
get their
thinking.
guns? Right?
If we are
We don't
shooting
know.
gang members in the literal underground. What are the Tabata going to go to the cops?
That's a good thought. I mean, Darby was just in the spirit of caution.
Also, we get another lead on a possible F, and I would like to meet as many Fs as possible before my big chess match.
Good call.
What if the
He is
plant
a
guy
Mr.
know
S.
like chemistry?
Not if it's
in
on his
some way?
character sheet. He knows biology.
Okay.
Don't
I didn't
know
know
much
if that
biology.
translated to weaponry in some way.
The thing about killing people with guns is anyone can do it, and so it doesn't look bizarre when it happens. So it certainly can be a useful tool for us to have in our literal pockets.
I wonder if Barry Bruja would know about how to get guns.
Barry Bruja. Well, he had a gun.
If it
I
comes
bet Barry Bruja would definitely know about guns. Why? I don't know why I didn't think of
great
that.
thought. We have his number.
Well,
You can talk to him next time.
If it comes to having money, I mean, I literally have 5 dots in resources. I have like an unwieldy amount of money.
As you said that, I thought you were about to say, I literally have $5.
Just burning a hole in my pocket.
That can buy some guns. Yeah.
Who wants like 3.5 cheeseburgers?
Speaking of having lots to spend, would anyone like to spend any experience points before we wrap up?
I would. Thinking more like from the role-playing perspective and like what I'm doing and what makes sense. I really feel like my character has like changed so much from like initial concept to like how I actually play him that I want to add a point in an attribute. I feel like based on the way I play him and the amount that he tries to like persuade people to do things, I think his charisma has to go up.
That
I think I
that's
want
justified.
Charisma dot.
Yeah,
I know last time I talked about putting
friends.
an extra point
Okay.
in wits, but I didn't have enough points, but now I do. So it would cost me 12, and I have 13 right now.
Real quick, is that the only thing that Archibald wants to buy? You have 4 more points left over. But Archibald has become more charismatic.
He needed that. And then because I got 1 point of Streetwise last time that I hung out with Onion Jack, and I feel like I did a whole lot more with Onion Jack. How much is it going to cost for an ability 2 times 2?
You wait like a month.
You
have to wait.
can't do
Okay.
another Streetwise.
NVM. In that case, I think maybe leadership.
I think you've already done one of those too.
Yep, in session 9.
Oh, it hasn't been. Okay, so then nothing. I'm going to save it then.
Okay. Excavo, what did
Those
you
are the
have?
2 things.
Oh, I just wanted to get a point of wits.
Okay. So your 4th dot of wits, I'm definitely going to give it to you, but I'm curious what you think Excavo's been doing that has helped her become not wittier, but
Well, I'll tell you last time I'd come up with the way to like cover up the person that had accidentally been killed.
cover up. You just kicked him onto the sidewalk.
No, that was what I did with the person that I almost killed.
Oh,
But
She did help me.
Helping Darby. Okay.
Fake suicide.
It was very clever how she helped me make him look more suicidal or whatever.
Deft
and I
improvisation.
went down into the surveillance room and set up the connection there.
Yeah. I will allow it. Excavo now has 4 dots in all of her mental attributes.
Damn.
Yup.
Augustyn, spending any of those 27 points that you're sitting on?
I've been saving him for learning other thaumaturgy schools, but given that I didn't decide to do that with my day off, and I've now officially pissed off Leslie, I should at least spend enough to get a bubble in something. I think I'm going with a cult.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. That's a good use of your experience points. So that would be...
Yeah, that adds to every single thaumaturgy roll, right?
Yep.
Pretty much.
So that'll take 6 experience points for your 4th
Oh god
dot.
damn, that's so cheap. Yeah. Let's do it.
Honestly, the rate at which everyone has been accumulating experience points is kind of insane, considering how many sessions each like night is broken up into. So like every night, everyone's getting as many experience points as I think normally a vampire is supposed to get over the course of a year or two. So this is a pretty astonishing rate of personal growth, which I think we could chalk up to everyone's been put into a really trying situation in which everyone is being forced to grow really quickly in order to adapt and survive. However, at some point in the future, I think there's going to be an act break where some things are revealed in the plot and we start going into kind of the end game of this campaign, at which point I'm planning on reducing the number of experience points that you are guaranteed every session from 3 down to 2 and then down to 1. So heads up about that. Because we started at a pretty crazy pace.
I think that makes sense, especially like I was talking about how my character has changed so much like from its inception. I think like part of that is like the situation he's in and like suddenly being thrust into a very completely different role of being the prince has been like, oh, now I have to do all this leadership stuff. So originally he was going to be like a Jekyll and Hyde, very awkward, kind of quiet person that would Hulk out, and that has not happened at all. So you never know what a character is going to be until you role play it a little bit, I guess.
Well, is there anything else you want to spend experience points on, Augustyn? If you're trying to make your thaumaturgy rolls go better, you can increase your intelligence, occult, or willpower.
So I've already done one in occult. I wouldn't get one in willpower because I just had a trauma fit, so that seems counterintuitive. Yeah, I hate to say it, I'm just gonna hold.
Brings us to Darby, who has 3 experience points. There's a small number of things you could spend that on. Did you have any plans?
I really don't. I think the next thing for like my min-maxy combat build would be to see if I could get. I mean, my plan that I talked about a couple of episodes ago is just so expensive. I was gonna see if Excavo would teach me the first level of Auspex, which I think would be awesome for Darby to have access to. But 10 XP is just a lot. But I'm gonna save. I think I'm gonna save up. I'm maybe starting the conversations with Excavo, dropping hints to see if there's anything I could teach her in exchange or anything we could do for each other. I don't know if we have the level of trust built up to do that yet, though we have been working together more frequently in the last couple of sessions. That's maybe my goal, to see if I can get up to 10 points and try to get Auspex 1.
Got it. I think that's a good plan. All right, this has been session 15. I think this was a really awesome session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will see everybody on session 16.
See you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Later.
Yeah.
Peace.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Love you too, Blake.